If you think having a green card guarantees your future in America, well, 2025 has been proving us all wrong. Under the new administration, lawful permanent residents are being detained, pressured, and even deported, sometimes over offenses as minor as a shoplifting fine. In this video, I'll break down the 5 urgent truths that every green card holder must know to protect their status before ICE comes knocking on their door. Hi, I'm Zaira Solano, founder of Solano Immigration Law Firm. In 2025, with a new Trump administration in power, United States immigration enforcement has become much more aggressive and unpredictable than ever. Green card holders, those of you who are lawful permanent residents, are now under scrutiny in ways that we never expected. We've seen reports of people detained at airports or pressured into giving up their green card. Even the vice president has publicly said that green card holders do not have an infinite right to stay in the United States if the government decides otherwise. Bottom line, a green card is not a guarantee against deportation. In this video, I'll go over 5 truths every green card holder must understand under this Trump administration, plus real examples and practical tips to protect yourself. Truth number 1, you can be deported for minor criminal offenses. You may think it's a small mistake, something like shoplifting. You got into a fight at a bar, or maybe even a DUI. And you think it's not going to affect your immigration status, but it will. And many of these are considered crimes involving moral turpitude, and even one single conviction where you are found guilty can put you into deportation proceedings. Under the Immigration and Nationality Act, also known as the INA, specifically Section 237 is for non-citizens, and it indicates that non-citizens can be deported for being found guilty of theft, assault, drug possession, domestic violence, firearms offenses, or aggravated felonies as some examples. And here's the kicker. You don't even need to actually serve time in jail. If the potential sentence for the type of crime that you can receive is at least 1 year or more, and that criminal conviction occurred within the first 5 years of you getting your green card, you're in trouble. You could be deported. I recommend that after today, if you are ever arrested, that your criminal defense attorney knows you are not a U.S. citizen and consult an immigration attorney about your criminal case immediately. Truth number 2, a guilty plea can lead to deportation. A guilty plea in a lot of cases is something that sounds like a fast way to get out of trouble, a fast way for you to put this situation behind you and move on. But in reality, it can put your entire immigration and future at risk. Thanks to the Supreme Court case, Padilla versus Kentucky, it requires that criminal defense attorneys warn you about the immigration consequences of a criminal conviction. But even though we have this law that is a requirement for criminal defense attorneys, they're generally not experts or well-versed in immigration, and they don't understand the immigration law. I recommend that you never, ever plead guilty to any crime, no matter how minor, how small it is, without first talking to an immigration attorney and asking yourself, will this affect my green card? Can I be deported? And if you don't know the answer to that, then you need to speak to an immigration attorney before agreeing to take the plea. Truth number 3, ICE is targeting longtime green card holders, and it doesn't matter how long you've been here, how much you've contributed, how much of an amazing life you've led in the United States, or how old your criminal conviction is. In 2025, ICE has broadened its priorities. Green card holders who were once safe are now getting detained. They've been deported, old charges that happened even decades ago. Past administrations often focused on serious or recent crimes, but that's changed under Trump 2025. If you've ever had a criminal arrest or a conviction, even if it was dismissed, it's on your record and it should be reviewed by an immigration lawyer. And until an immigration lawyer confirms whether or not it affects you, you should avoid all international travel. Even lawful permanent residents with green cards are subject to inspection every time they leave and return to the United States. And they can be detained upon entry if there's a record that triggers a red flag. Number 4, you have rights. Don't let ICE or CBP intimidate you. You may be told to sign something or to voluntarily leave the United States, but as a green card holder, you have the right to a hearing before an immigration judge under Section 240 of the INA. You have the right to be represented by an attorney at your own expense. You have the right to see the evidence that is being presented against you by Homeland Security. And you also have the right to submit applications to the immigration judge and apply for relief against being deported from the United States. ICE cannot legally force you to give up your green card, and if they present you with a form to abandon your LPR status, Form I-407, you are not required to sign it. I recommend that if ICE comes knocking on your door, you don't open it unless they show you a judicial warrant with your name on it. Stay calm, stay silent, ask to speak to an attorney, and do not sign anything unless your lawyer reviews it first. And lastly, truth number 5, the only real protection is United States citizenship. Let me tell you about Anna and Carlos. They both got green cards back in 2015. Anna applied for citizenship as soon as she could and became a U.S. citizen, but Carlos waited. In 2025, Carlos is now facing deportation due to a minor offense that happened years ago. Anna, well, she's safe right now because she's a U.S. citizen and she met all the requirements at the time that she became a citizen, and she cannot be deported. Becoming a citizen not only gives you the right to vote and a U.S. passport, but it gives you security. If you're eligible to naturalize to become a U.S. citizen, do it now. It usually takes 5 years of being a lawful permanent resident and a clean record, understanding and speaking English, and passing a civics test in order to become a citizen. If you're a green card holder now, while you're working towards citizenship, stay informed. Follow reliable news sources, legal aid organizations, and USCIS updates. Be very careful with rumors that are being spread on social media or hearsay, things that you hear from friends, sometimes neighbors, family, or coworkers. In 2025, the message from the Trump administration is loud and clear. Holding a green card is no longer a guarantee to a future in America. Even longtime residents with minor criminal charges are at risk of ICE. They're active, they're aggressive, and they're going back to look at old records. So here's what you can do. Don't underestimate any criminal charge. Know your rights before pleading guilty to any criminal charges. Do not travel internationally if you have prior criminal convictions. Make sure you know how to assess your due process rights. And get on a path to become a U.S. citizen ASAP. Now, if you think that just holding on to your green card is enough to stay safe, you're probably making a huge mistake. And in this next video, I'll dive into whether it's smarter to keep your green card or apply for citizenship, especially now that Trump is back in power. Trust me, the answer isn't what most people think. Click here to find out.